All right, Darren here again on behalf of the NCAA here from Game 10 of the 2022 NCAA Division III Baseball Championships in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We're joined by 4 members of the Salisbury University Sea Gulls baseball team following a 5-2 win over University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. From left to right, Sky Rahill, head coach Troy Brohawn, Xavier Marmol, and all the way to the right, Jacob Ferenc. So, Coach, just talk a little bit about how the game went today and kind of how you saw things play out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a typical Salisbury game right there, where pitching and defense, maybe after the second inning, took control. We manufactured some runs. We got down early, playing some really tight baseball, but I give the guys some credit that they were very resilient. We still executed and played our brand as far as bunting and moving guys over and getting a knock here and there. And then we put a 3-spot up that gave us a little bit of cushion. I can't say enough about the job X did. There was a lot of thought going all the way up to probably an hour before game who was starting. We had Mitchell and we had X. We felt like if we could get maybe 3 or 4 out of Mitchell, that X comes out of the pen better than Mitchell does, instead of vice versa, starting him. And if he got in some trouble, Mitchell coming out of the pen. So that was a thought process there. But I told him in the locker room, I told the team that that's probably the best I've ever seen him throw in the 4 years here in a pressure situation. But he did a hell of a job.
Open questions from media.
Xavier, what was working for you during the game?
Honestly, just keeping everything low, whether it was inside or outside, and then just capitalizing on getting ahead of the count and just trying to live outside, I guess.
He did a tremendous job with their lefties. Their better hitters are probably their 1 and 2 hole hitters. And when he came into the game, we started with some sliders and finished with some fastballs. And at the end of the game, I thought a couple of their lefties went up there looking for the slider and took fastball. So I thought he did a great job locating and mixing up his pitches, especially to those guys.
Coach, why don't you specifically talk about the defense, how big those type of plays were just to keep the runners off?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been here, one thing that we've made a staple of this program is pitching and defense. It was disappointing in those first couple innings that we made a couple blunders that usually our defense doesn't make. A couple of the fly balls that Stephen Rice made in shallow left field were humongous, especially with the bases loaded when he caught the one. I think there in the 7th or 8th, there was one down the line, that another over the shoulder. And again, when those guys get on, they're earning their way on. We didn't walk in. I think we had 1 walk on the day. We didn't hit anybody. We wanted to make them put hits together to score some runs. And even if they got the leadoff guy on or that second guy, X made a pitch. We got ground balls to the infield, and they were able to roll it. And that's a great momentum swing in those times of the game.
Jacob, you sitting there in, I think it might have been the 5th inning, where you finally take the leadoff double on 2 ground outs, and then all of a sudden put a couple of people on base. How big was that hit?
I mean, that was huge. I mean, it gives X cushion to work with, gives him confidence on the mound. He's not pitching, maybe giving up a lead, but yeah, just staying inside the baseball was huge. It's a big emphasis on this team, and be able to do that and drive 2 runs in for the team, it was massive.
And Scott, why don't you talk a little bit more about the defense, how you see it on the infield?
Yeah, I mean, we're the best defense in the country. And I mean, Stephen Rice is unbelievable, really, really fun to play with, gets to everything really fast. Luke Waddell's glove is unbelievable, and he gets rid of it really quick. And Patrick has been awesome, turning double plays and being smooth. So, and then left to right in the outfield, crazy speed with awesome, they get great jumps. So it's really fun.
Coach, this has been 3rd straight game that team's fallen behind 1-0 after the 1st inning, and 3rd straight game you come back to win it. So I'm sure at this point it's just old hat looking up at the scoreboard and saying, "No, we're down, but we can come back."
I'm gonna see if they can start the championship series in the 2nd inning. No 1st inning. But no, I mean, it's just the resiliency of this squad. Even the squad that was here last year when we were in regionals and in the World Series, we got behind a couple times. Again, I'll just say that there's just a sense of calmness with these guys, and 90% of these guys return. And I think 90% of them are returning again next year. So there's just a sense of calmness with these guys that Marietta, we were down 4 early, but there wasn't any sweat in the dugout. It was just like, hey, let's chip away. Let's get guys on. Let's move them over. Let's cut it in half. It wasn't like, hey, we need 4 home runs. It was like, get on, let's move them over, get a couple in and chip them in half. And then our pitching will hold them there. And that's kind of been the staple of this program, especially the last 2 years, but probably over the past 3 or 4.
Coach mentioned earlier that he was essentially coin flip as to whether it would be you or Mitchell who was making the start. Where was your headspace at, knowing that you were going to be the first man out of the bullpen, whether that be the 5th or the 2nd when it ended up being?
Pretty much just staying within myself, not trying to do too much. And for me, it didn't really matter who was going out there to start the game, because we have such a good pen that it doesn't really matter who goes out. Everyone's going to do their job. And to me, it was just get ahead and pretty much just let the defense do their work.
Jake, you had the most unique vantage point for X's outing. What was it like catching him on today's just gem of a performance?
Oh, it was outstanding. I mean, it's the best I've seen him. He was hitting spots everywhere I was asking for it, keeping hitters off balance, and I couldn't have asked more. He was great.
Sky, here we are. We're back in the championship series again. This team literally doesn't know how to lose at Cedar Rapids. That's 8 straight dating back to last season. What was the feeling in the team huddle after that 27th out was made?
Definitely excited. I think we all have a mutual understanding that we're not done and that, we have 2 more big ones to play. So you want to enjoy it as it happens and not take anything for granted. But at the same time, we know that we're going to win these next 2 games and bring another one home.
There's one more for Coach Brohawn. Bullpen health is about as strong as it can be entering a championship series. You used Epstein and Hilligoss on Saturday, but the rain assured of an extra day's rest. You got a lot of your top bullpen arms that haven't pitched at all here. Can you speak just to where your mind is at, knowing that you got a full tank out of the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, we're in, I don't want to say better position than we were last year, but I mean, Jackson came back on a couple days rest last year to go 5, and Clayton came back on 1 day's rest. And, playing the World Series in this short amount of time, I don't always think you get the best baseball at the end if you get to the championship series, because so many arms can't come back. But with the rain day yesterday and with some of our guys going deep into the game, we're well rested, and that doesn't guarantee anything. But looking at the ball club right now, and especially our pitching staff, I would say probably everybody will be available for tomorrow, other than this guy right here.
Any other questions from the group for Salisbury? Doesn't look like it. So thank you to you for Sky, Coach Brohawn, Xavier, and Jacob, and congratulations on advancing to the championship series for the 2nd consecutive season. You guys are slated for a first pitch at 11 a.m. tomorrow against the to be determined opponent. So rest up and get ready, and good luck to you four as you guys move forward.
Thank you.